My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Virgos. For this week, I'm going to do the Vlad Dracula Tarot. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot, and so I pretty much, just thought, since we're more or less just heading off towards the spooky season of All Hallows Eve, and please feel free to, to stay tuned for any upcoming, or at least for the upcoming performance of the Danse Macabre to honor the deceased and stuff like that, because, this, performance is going to be taking place in a cemetery, to I'll be playing music for the, people who passed away and stuff, right? But anyway, so if you even get a chance to look at your thumbnail of today's reading, it's pretty much just spread out in the 11 cards, vampire or at least the Dracula cross for that matter. So I'm not going to be talking about the historical parts of each card, but I will just only talking about like the main, like the title of each card, for example. Like, for example, for card number 1, you get Three of Pentacles. And then I'm also going to be talking about how each card number will pretty much will represents your current situation based off of these cards. So for number 1, the significator forms the base of the cross. Everything in this reading will be built upon this foundation. What do we know about Three of Pentacles? Collaboration, group activity, support, and what have you from your friends, family, and whoever you probably trust, value, and hold dear close to yourself, right? So it's pretty much in like how the main message today is that you pretty much have people around you. Maybe you are actually going through some very beautiful, like celebratory occasions. It makes sense to have your friends, family, whoever you hold dear close to you. But if you're also kind of dealing with maybe some conflicts or something on a bit of a lesser happy scale for that matter, it's always good to know that you can count on other people, right? And to know that, you can reach out to them, that you could pretty much just, express your feelings, your thoughts, your needs, your desires, and that they pretty much say, yeah, we're here for you either way. So it's always good to know that you can pretty much just count on people, right? Instead of just thinking, oh goodness, it's like I'm suffering on the inside and now I don't have other people to run or look to and stuff like that. Well, hopefully that part doesn't particularly resonate, but that's why this beautiful base of today's reading showed up in collaboration or having, people around you. Then we get to the second card. Knight of Pentacles. Okay. So card number 2, crossing the significator. This card represents the challenges that you'll have to overcome in order to achieve the desired outcome. So the thing is, let's say that you are, dealing with maybe like waiting for some, result of some kind or something like, let's say that you're applying for a job, you're applying for college, you're waiting for any kind of outcome or result. Yeah, the challenge that you'll have to overcome is actually patience, and that's kind of the deep and sad and honest truth, and I wish it could have actually sped up, unless it doesn't resonate, but please feel free to ignore or check out other placements. But yeah, sometimes, patience can be definitely a challenge. It's like when a lot of humans, they go to these restaurants and they're hungry beyond anything, and yet they pretty much have to wait a half hour or 20 minutes for their meal to arrive, and they're just kind of sitting there just thinking, I'm getting frustrated. I want to eat right now. But it could also be, well, if you're waiting for any kind of outcome or result for that matter, that sometimes, it could also put you in a real stressed out situation where you think, I want to know right now. Yes, I applied for something, but now it's already been like maybe a week or 2 weeks. I need to know really, soon, otherwise this and that, right? But sometimes, it's like, patience is pretty much the only thing that is pretty much just holding you back, but that's kind of what you need to kind of just remain focused, right? Wow. So, then we get to card number 3. 3 of Cups. Okay, Celebration City for beautiful Virgos, even though we are in Libra season. But card number 3 above the significator, this shows the skill or ability that you'll need to have in order to achieve the desired outcome. What this card, in the sense of skill and ability, means is that you need to already assume the positive aspect. Let's say that you applied for a job and you still haven't heard anything from whoever is going to be hiring you. They try to keep a positive mindset of thinking, oh, it'll eventually come. Maybe this person, is also, dealing with other applications. Maybe they're dealing with whatever stuff like that, or with any kind of like result or end, goal and stuff like that. The thing is I try to actually keep a very beautiful positive mindset to think, okay, we're patiently waiting for something to head towards us in a slow yet certain manner. But the best way that we can look at anything about waiting is just to already, assume the best. I mean, it's always easy to lean towards the negative side and think, oh goodness, it's never going to happen. I'm not going to ever get hired. It's been nothing but one big, miserable waiting experience. I just can't handle this. Yes, patience and having to wait, those waiting rooms are just awful, aren't they? But eventually, something is definitely going to work out. So, then we get to the fourth card. Five of Wands, Five of Stakes. This is the first bar of the cross, forming the basis of future and past events. The specific card represents present circumstances. The thing is, when you're waiting for something, it could put you in like a real, this is more like, a conflict and competitives kind of card. So maybe you are competing for a job that other people are also heading off towards. Maybe you're suffering from internal conflicts. Maybe you're actually competing with yourself. The point is, if you are applying for something and just because it doesn't happen instantly within a day, within a week, within a month, I mean, hopefully, I don't know enough about it. But the thing is sometimes, patience is very painful and it's a big challenge. But the thing is if you're suffering from like, already thinking, oh yeah, I'm already defeated, I'm not going to get in, blah, blah, blah. It's easy to fall into a real negative spiral. But that's why, the skill that you'll need to have is to try to grab yourself up and just say, we're not going to assume and accept defeat as of yet. So just because, you applied for a job, you're applying for a college, what have you, so forth in other ways, the point is, it's like, always try to keep a real positive mindset saying, okay, either it's next time, or maybe we have to wait a bit longer, what have you, but always try to, remain positive. And I know I'm just one big hypocrite when I'm talking about that kind of stuff, because you should see me behind the scenes, and of course the human familiar could probably, tell you all about that. But I always try to kind of keep that sense of hope within me. I always try to say, okay, every evening, when I wake up, I first have my, evening beverage and stuff like that instead of the morning beverage. But then I pretty much just think, okay, it's like, how am I going to go about this? Okay, what if this, what if that? And it's all just one big negative experience, because even the upcoming performance, I can always assume the worst. I can already just, picture, the human canceling, whether, he, doesn't want to deal with it, is sick, what have you. It's going to be stormy or rainy, during the performance, so I'm going to have to change venue quickly, what have you. So, I can always assume that it's never going to happen and that I should already cancel right now, saying, oh yeah, I had this very beautiful idea, but but sorry, I'm just going to have to cancel. Sorry, it didn't work. I'm just, I already assumed defeat. No. Having this desire to keep going, even though you might be struggling, is fabulous. It's pretty much just kind of that you're already winning 50% of the battle. Because then we get number 5. Four of Wands. Number 5, this is the second bar of the cross. It shows the highest possible outcome and is an indication of what will be. Yes, happy home, happy hearth, happy family, and abundance, but also your confidence within yourself. Because the thing is, it's like, if you're kind of struggling, in current times where you pretty much have like already like this, conflict within yourself, or you're already just thinking, nope, it's just not going to work out. I'm not going to get that job. I'm not going to get this. I'm not going to get that. Okay, if you want to actually, will remain in that mindset. The point is I hope you don't. I hope you're one of these individuals that's just, goes through these motions of their, I'm thinking, okay, it just seems like just a fool's gold, fool's errand kind of idea. But to actually just keep going, then the possible outcome is that you'll have a beautiful home, a beautiful family, but so much confidence within yourself because of the waiting game and actually kind of struggling in the sense with like maybe internal conflict or maybe competition with other competitors out in this world. I know. Then we get to 6 and 7. So number 6 is about the immediate future. And then you get 3 of Stakes. 3 of Wands. Okay. So 3 of Wands is practically talking about how you're definitely in the immediate future going to be heading off towards this new voyage of however and wherever it may take you in other ways. So the thing is it's like, in the immediate future, you pretty much just think, okay, now we know exactly which direction we're heading off towards. This could be maybe an alternative job, career, but it could also be you actually heading off towards your happy home, happy earth, happy family journey. Because in the immediate past, you got 9 of Stakes, 9 of Wands. The fact that you felt exhausted beyond belief, but you just didn't give up, is already like the winning mindset in so many ways. Because the thing is slow and steady wins the race, but it's also patience is key, and pretty much that you think, I'm so glad that I pretty much had to struggle my way through some of this patience moment, because in the end, I actually got what I wanted. And that's the thing, it's like, we'll have some of these people, they head off to some kind of store or some kind of, what have you and stuff like that, and they say, okay, I like to purchase this, and then either A, it's on back order, or B, it's somewhere in the back, or what have you and stuff like that. Sometimes, just waiting for it to, to happen, eventually, you will get that beautiful desired goal and result of the Four of Wands in the end. Because for 8 and 9, so 8 is about the distant future. You got 8 of Wands. Fast movement, and this is pretty much already taking place in the distant future, because you already get the 3 of Wands. So here's fast movement taking place, and then in the past you got the Ace of Wands, putting time and energy into this voyage of yours, this quest. So this is kind of what, the distant part, at least distant future and past already had, because the fact was that you're already planning this voyage, this quest for yourself, and you pretty much just think, okay, I know exactly where I'm heading off towards. I know how I'm going to go about it. Yes, I have confidence right now. I have a happy home, happy earth, happy family. But now we're going to just change course, or there's going to be definitely some fast movement heading off towards you, because you have already put a lot of time and energy into this. And this could also be, putting time and energy in the whole, waiting game, having patience, the fact that you just didn't give up. That requires a lot of energy, doesn't it? And the fact that you even just pretty much just have an excellent sense of planning. I'm beyond impressed. And that's what I love to see, is I just love to see these things taking place. And I just think this is a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous combination. Because the outcome of all outcomes for the final 2 of 10 and 11, you get 10 of Wands, hard work, maybe feeling somewhat burdened. And then you get 2 of Wands, more movement and journeys, vacationing, what have you in other ways. But I do see you actually just having a sense of movement, developing, and pretty much just heading off towards a different location. I mean, the thing is it is a general reading, so take it how it resonates. But you don't have to be going out on vacation, holidays. You don't even have to be even traveling or relocating. But the thing is as long as you know that each day is different, as long as there's movement and development, because the fact is, there is something heading off towards you slowly yet surely. In the sense that, well, sometimes, it's like being in a metaphorical kind of traffic jam. Yes, it's like, that's also kind of like heading towards something slowly yet surely, but there's definite movement taking place. It's not like they say, okay, it's like, we're going to actually have you guys, stuck here for over the evening and stuff like that, because, that's just how, it's taking place right now. No, there's always going to be alternative routes, alternative journeys, alternative, like exits for you to take, where they pretty much just think, okay, this is not working out right now. Let's try to find something different. And that's kind of, what today's message is practically based off of, is that either you are getting, guidance and support from other people about, which path and voyage to head off towards in other ways. But this is also about just thinking, okay, it's like, I want to actually, it's like, I want to actually be able to maybe relocate to maybe a different city, state, country, or maybe relocate to a different job. But there's definitely just so much movement, well, so many reasons to celebrate, at least, a personal acknowledgement with the 3 of Cups. And then with the 5 of Wands, sometimes everybody, can suffer and struggle with internal conflicts, or maybe competitive sides with, if you are heading off towards a different career for that matter, that sometimes there's other people that also want to have the same job as well. But this is what the outcome is that you're going to be faced with a lot of hard work, because maybe this is a beautiful outcome that you will eventually get that a desired goal because you waited for so long. Or it could be where you just feel like, oh, I just feel incredibly burdened. You know what? I'm just going to take off towards a different exit route and see where that's going to be guiding me towards as well. Okay, my beautiful Virgos, I'm going to have to leave it at this for now. But if this reading resonated, Virgo's placements out in this world, feel free to, just check out my channel. Subscribe if you want more Dracula, more vampire stories. And especially, we'll stay tuned for the upcoming, performance. I really hope you guys will like it and stuff like that. But other than that, thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys incredibly. The rest of the week is just going to be based off of Dracula for the other 6, upcoming, normal zodiac signs. Sometimes I just can't talk. But next week I'll go back to general readings, general love readings, stuff like that. But as per usual, I'm also open for personal readings as well. So please feel free to let me know in the comment section below for which type of reading you're ever interested in. But other than that, I love you guys. I want to wish you all the best on this very beautiful transition voyage quest, wherever it may take you and stuff like that. And I love you guys so very much.